guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Olivia Parchment. I make contents about how to be your best self, how to level up, and positivity. So if that's something that you think you're interested in, you can go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel. So in my videos, I normally come across very strong. I talk a lot about positivity, and I've never actually be vulnerable and share my experience of some of the difficulties that I experienced in life, which I experienced tons of difficulties, and I'm so strong because I overcome all of them, and I'm doing excellent at the moment. But I don't know what compelled me to come on YouTube and be vulnerable and share experience that I went through. In this video, I will be talking about how I had my first mental breakdown. So I experienced two mental breakdown. This was like probably 3 years ago. So I am currently 28. So probably when I was about 25, it kind of seems like it was just yesterday, but I just want to elaborate on that because normally we comment on YouTube and make things seems like everything is always good, but I just want to go in a little and be as vulnerable as I can and transparent as I can about that experience that I encounter. So at the moment, I was living in New York. I was working in Long Island in a nursing home. You know, working in a nursing home, how difficult that is. You have multiple patients you have to deal with, a lot of responsibility. If you're not from a home that is stable and good for you and your mental health, it can affect your job. So I normally take the bus. I was in Queens. I take the bus from Queens to Long Island. It was like off Franklin Square. So I think I took about two buses. So this day I woke up, I went to work, and when I was at work, like I got to work and I wasn't in the best position, but I still pulled through days after days working. So I never experienced anything traumatic in my life, really, or anything that caused me to have a mental breakdown. But the situation that I was in was very horrible. I never know that I could come out of that situation, but I did. So I went to work, everything was fine. When I was at work, I I don't think I could make it through the day at work. Like even talking about it right now, it just gets me so emotional. Like when I was at work, it's like I don't think I could make it through the day. So I told my boss that I cannot stay at work. I have to hold on, give me a sec. I don't know how like people just talk about like what they go through like that. It's like the emotions and the feelings that you feel when you talk about a traumatic experience. I think it's good that you talk and you let it out, but it's like you can feel like you're still in the situation that you were in. I don't know if you guys can relate to what I'm saying. It's like all the emotions, everything just come right back to you. So as I was saying, so I went to work. I told my boss like I wasn't feeling well. So I feel like I literally felt like I couldn't breathe. I couldn't go through that shift. It was 8 hours dealing with all those patients. I couldn't go through the shift. So I told my boss I wasn't feeling well. So I left work. So when I was leaving, basically they were like my coworkers. They were like, "Why did you come to work if you know you weren't feeling well?" Like people nowadays don't have any sympathy, nothing at all. They were like, why do you come to work if you don't feel good? Remind you, I was doing fine. going to work. Is when I got into that environment, I think it triggers me more. So that's when the reaction came out. So they were there and they were like, why did you come to work? And I just started bursting out crying. Like I was crying. I was like, I don't know, but I have to go. I cannot stay here. I I need the day off. Like I was crying, crying. So I came out, and when I came out of the nursing home, I was walking towards the bus station. When I tell you I could not breathe, I could not catch my breath. It's like it felt like I was gonna pass right out. I don't know, but it's like I could not breathe. Like I know I had a breakdown or a panic attack, or I don't know what that is, but I experienced that. It was so traumatic. And I walked to the bus station. I was at the bus station and I got on the bus. When I got on the bus, I called my sister. My sister lived in Antigua. And I called her and I was talking to her and explaining my situation and the stuff that I was going through. And she kind of pulled me back to myself, but that still didn't get behind the fact that how I felt. But she did help. She helped relieve the way that I was feeling, and that was very helpful. But it was a horrible experience, and I think the same situation happened to me another time. Like it was the same thing, but I did stay at work. But the whole time I was at work, I was miserable. I was miserable. So I experienced it's like a week apart, but it was bad. And I know I can overcome really almost anything because I've experienced so much bad traumatic experience and I still pulled through it. Like even one day the same work, I don't know why, working at the nursing home in Long Island, all those experiences coming back to me. I think it was a very horrible time for me to experience. So it was, I think it was December or January, but it was very cold. That time I have to get up like 5:30 in the morning to be at work at 6:30. I think it was 7. And I was walking and when it is in New York, when the car drive on the road, it pulled all the snow over on the sidewalk. So instead of me walking on the sidewalk, I could not walk on the sidewalk. I had to walk on the road in the car tracks. I don't know if you guys know what I mean. If you live in a place where it snows, on the sidewalks, it's horrible because all the cars, when they drive, the snow go over on the sidewalk. So it was horrible. I had to go to work. That day was basically mini snowstorm. And then when I went to work, almost all the caregivers call out. I kid you not, that day I had about 16 patients. When I say it was horrible, it was horrible. And it was that day that I decided that New York is not for me. It's too much, it's too exhausting. It was horrible. It was like I had so much traumatic experience with New York. All of that cannot hold in this video. But I took my time. I came back here in Florida, and I'm telling you, like, it wasn't perfect when I just came back, but I just stayed consistent and I did what I had to do until I moved. I become financially stable. Like I was saying with my mom when I came back, it wasn't perfect there. That's a whole different story. And I left after, and I came where I was here living first, and then I left, and then I came back here. Whole lot of story, whole lot of drama. But I just came out to do this video to say that not every time that we're gonna be strong. And if you feel like you need to cry, cry. If you think you need to call someone that you trust and tell them how you feel, don't always try to be that strong, resilient person that keep everything in them. If you feel like you need to talk to someone because I'm telling you, it helps. it really helps when you do talk to someone. So just a moment of vulnerability here. And I've experienced, as I said, a lot. If you guys are on my channel and you know me, you know the things that I go through. Like some of the things that I go through, a regular person will not survive it. But I love the fact that I went through those stuff that I went through, because looking at myself now, and I'm still not even a quarter of where I want to be. Looking at myself now, I know that everything I went through was for a purpose, and is to build me, and is to make me stronger. And anyone that's going through a hard time, you will get over whatever you're going through. I'm not trying to be too emotional, too preachy here, because you guys can find your motivation in several different places. But I'm just here to share a little moment of vulnerability about when I had my mental breakdown. So, thank you guys for tuning into this video if you're here so far. And thank you again. I really appreciate everyone that's on my channel. So, you can go ahead and like this video, and you can comment if you did experience any traumatic experience or any mental breakdown, and how do you go about coping with that. In my other videos that I make, I will share more of the stuff that I go through, and how I go through about coping, and how I go through about therapy and so forth, because those are stuff that I'm not ashamed to talk about, that I had to go to therapy, things, exercise that I had to do to get my mind right. And that's why I'm so in love with the gym and working out, because it's like the adrenaline that I feel when I'm in the gym is like my mind is just in a different space, and it helped me tremendously. So that's it for this video. As I said, thank you guys again for tuning in, and if you're watching this far, you can just go ahead and just simple give this video a like, and yeah, comment and tell me a vulnerable moment you had, or anything. So again, thank you, and you guys have a wonderful day, week, night, whatever it is for you. Bye.